Hey guys, check it out. I've got a really cool video for you today because behind me is the new Lexus IS. The IS is, of course, the small Lexus sporty sedan, and for 2021, we see extensive updates. And the reason I'm so excited about this video is because Lexus gave us super early access to this new model to show you the cool features around the outside and the inside as well. We're also going to talk about perhaps some of the not so cool features. Now, let's start with the basic model. The IS debuted here in the US in the early 2000s. Now the current generation, the 2020 model, came out in 2014. This new one for 21 isn't all new, so it's still riding on the same platform as the current model, but there are extensive updates throughout. Let's talk about the front end because that is probably the biggest visual difference. Now the current 2020 IS has this funky headlight design where the main beam is separated from the daytime running light. It's not my all-time favorite design, to be honest. It looks a little weird, but for 21, Lexus has resculpted the whole front fascia, and now we have an integrated headlight, turn signal, and daytime running light unit. I definitely like this design a lot. I also like the overall angles on this front end. So they've made it a lot crisper, both in terms of transitions, as well as the overall profile from the front, especially down low. It just looks mean. Of course, we still have the signature Lexus spindle grille here, and the best part of this particular car is the color. This is called Grecian Water, and it's probably the best blue I have seen in a long time. It's not quite an electric blue, it's not super bright, but it's also not quite a pastel. It's somewhere right in the middle. Nice metal flake in this finish. Oh, I just think it's gorgeous. Coming along the side here, take a look at these wheels. For 2021, the IS has standard 18-inch wheels. This is wrapped in 235/45 R18 Michelin rubber here. I do like the silver against the blue. I do think that is a very handsome look. And as we continue down the side here, very low sills. So you can see that they've definitely gone for more of an aggressive design when it comes to ground clearance and overall proportions. And in the rear, we see extensive changes as well. So the current 2020 has kind of this droopy taillight design where the taillight extends down into the quarter panel. This new one, they've actually inverted it. So now we've got the crease going up and the overall taillight extends throughout the entire center of the vehicle. So we've got this LED light bar that at night illuminates over the entire rear. Down here, you'll notice IS 300 badging. This one is all-wheel drive, but you can get it in rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive configuration. And then large dual exhaust below the fascia. So we have one on both the driver and the passenger side with some black plastic down here as well. Now let's take a look at what's under the hood. So powertrain and drivetrain remain largely unchanged for this new 2021 model. This is the IS 300, which gives you a choice of engines. The base engine is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, but you can only get that engine in rear-wheel drive. If you step up to all-wheel drive like this car, they make you get a 3.5-liter V6, 260 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque. Now there is a higher-end model of the IS called the IS 350. That also has a V6, just like this car, but that one is tuned differently to make over 300 horsepower. So this car, 260, 236 pound-feet of torque, pretty respectable numbers. Transmission though, 6-speed automatic. So the rear-wheel drive version of this, the IS 300 rear-wheel drive, is an 8-speed, but because this has a 3.5, you're looking at 6-speed automatic, no manual transmission is available. All right, let's take a look at the interior. Oh, let me open it up for you there, Ian. Now the interior of the IS, it's really pretty nice. Not all that changed for 21, but a lot of nice touches. First of all, the seat color. This is the glazed caramel interior. Whoever set this car up, the design department did a great job with the colors. I think the kind of caramel and black look looks really good. They've continued the caramel here across the dash. And here's the push button start right up there on the top of the binnacle. Now let's talk about the changes for 21. First and foremost, right here, different vents. We have these circular vents on both edges of the vehicles, so both the driver and the passenger have these round vents. Second of all, infotainment screen, 10.3-inch screen, and this is where I'm really stoked because this is a touchscreen system. Thank goodness. Now it still does have the little pad down here. If you want to pan down here, you can still see we still can use the Lexus trackpad, but I've never liked this system. I'm so glad they've gone to a touchscreen. Now you have options. The actual screen sits several inches closer to the passengers compared to the 20 model year, so it's easier to touch. Just go with this, never use a touchpad. In my opinion, I just love the touchscreen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all incorporated there. This area is pretty similar to the current model year, piano black finish. I do not like the haptic controls for the temperature. I always find them a little clunky. I never feel like they work all that well. We do have volume and tune knobs, huge deal, greatly welcomed. But what is this? CD player really in 2021? That is interesting. This one has heated and ventilated seats right down here. Several drive modes in the IS, so we've got Eco, Normal, and Sport mode, as well as Snow, traction control button there. Conventional shifts are very satisfying to use. Park, reverse, neutral, and drive, as God intended down here in the center. Manual mode with paddle shifters. Most of the center console here is pretty similar to the current model. Same with the steering wheel, slightly different airbag design here. Analog gauges in this model. Do you want to show me, Ian? And they do something pretty cool. Check this out. When they're off, they actually disappear completely. And then when you turn them on, that's when the numbers and the information kind of fade into life. I do like that touch a lot. One touch I'm not a big fan of, the turn signals. They use the BMW style where they return to a central detent after turning them on and off. I much prefer a system where you turn it right, it just stays right, rather than popping down into the center. Now, I can't tell you how this car drives because driving impressions are still embargoed. This is just a super early first look at the 2021 IS, but other things you need to know. Kind of a small sunroof in this vehicle, not full panoramic. I do like this feature. This is kind of handy. It tells you who has their seatbelts unbuckled at any time. So right now, you can see in the rear passengers, all three of them have them unbuckled, but of course there's no one back there. Speaking of rear passengers, let's take a look. Let me let you out, Ian. Oh, you want to be there? Now this has always been an area where the IS has struggled. It continues to struggle. I'm 6 foot 1 inch tall, not enough headroom for me. Knee room is compromised, and there's a massive tunnel, probably one of the biggest tunnels I've seen for the drive shaft. So, center passengers, you do not want to sit in the center of an IS for any kind of significant distance because it's not a great experience. Let me lay you out and we'll take a look at the trunk. Now, other important changes for 2021. This car has the Lexus Safety Sense 2.5, which is better than 2.0, which is their, of course, suite of safety technologies. We'll have to test that out when we can. Talk about driving impressions. Here's the key. Push and hold the button. Pop the trunk open here. Fairly decent sized trunk. You can see we do have a space saver spare tire here. And the seats do fold 60-40, if you can kind of see that down there. Not much to talk about in the trunk. You have the gooseneck hinges here. It does not manually or it does not automatically close, but that's okay. So not a huge amount of changes for the 2021 IS, but I think what they have changed, they've done a really good job of incorporating. So the design, the safety systems, engines are the same. Fuel economy has yet to be released. Same with pricing, so I'm not sure how much more this car is going to be, but overall, very good looking car, especially in this color. I'd love to drive the F Sport and the 350, see what that big V6 feels like, but stay tuned to tflcar.com because we've got tons of info coming to you soon about what this new Lexus drives like. Thanks for watching.